Goku chosen by Zeno as a god of destruction? Hello guys, this is Mr. 60 Anime. Today, we're going to talk about Chapter 2 of Dragon Ball Hakai. But before we continue, don't forget to like this video so you'll always stay updated on all of our Dragon Ball content. Now, before we jump straight into Chapter 2, let's have a quick recap of what happened in the previous chapter. In Chapter 1, the Grand Priest called for an important meeting with all the angels and the gods of destruction. What's surprising here is that he also asked two mortals to attend this meeting, none other than Goku and Vegeta. And this is exactly where Chapter 2 begins. The first panel takes us to Zeno's palace, where all the angels and the gods of destruction from every universe are already gathered. And at this moment, Whis arrived together with Goku at the location where the termination meeting was about to take place. Both Zenos are very happy to see Goku and immediately greet him, which Goku responds to in his usual casual way. Because of Goku's informal behavior, everyone in the room, the angels and the gods of destruction, are shocked. Goku then whispers to Vegeta, asking why everyone looks so angry at them. Vegeta quickly scolds him, telling him that he's being ignorant again, and that he should stay quiet before he makes the situation worse. Meanwhile, Beerus is visibly annoyed at Goku, saying that he isn't showing proper respect to the higher beings in the room. At this point, the meeting officially begins. The Grand Priest instructs all candidates to remain where they are, while the mentors can leave the center of the room. Then, the Grand Priest begins his speech. He explains that the reason for this gathering is something that their mentors may have already told them. It is called the termination announcement. This announcement is about selecting a new god of destruction who will take the place of a former one. And shockingly, the mortals chosen as candidates for this divine position are none other than Goku and Vegeta. Hearing this, Goku is surprised and questions why they were chosen. He argues that there are others who are far stronger, like Jiren or Toppo. The Grand Priest then calmly responds, explaining that the choice is not only about strength. He reminds everyone that Goku is the only mortal in existence who is currently training directly under an angel, which is one of the main requirements to even be considered as a god of destruction candidate. As for Jiren, the Grand Priest acknowledges his incredible power, but also points out that Jiren's training has always been with gods or angels in the past, which is different from Goku's unique situation. Meanwhile, Toppo was also preparing himself to eventually replace Belmod as the next god of destruction of Universe 11. After hearing the Grand Priest's explanation, Goku still didn't fully understand what was going on. Vegeta, however, spoke up. He admitted that he never really had any intention of becoming a god of destruction. But if this was the only way for him to continue his training under Whis, then he was willing to accept it. Hearing this, the Grand Priest was pleased. The Grand Priest then called on Whis, asking him to summon the two Zenos so they could personally meet the two mortals who were candidates to become the next god of destruction. But before that could happen, Whis interrupted, saying he had something important to add about Goku. Whis explained that Goku was indeed one of the strongest warriors in existence. In fact, he had achieved true mastery of Ultra Instinct, something not even the current gods of destruction were capable of doing. However, Whis pointed out a critical flaw. Goku's personality did not suit the responsibilities of a god of destruction. Hearing this, Goku became embarrassed and scratched his head in his usual awkward way. Whis then continued, this time talking about Vegeta. Unlike Goku, Vegeta didn't possess Ultra Instinct. But recently, he had been training in the techniques of Hakai, the power of destruction itself. Not only that, Vegeta was also a serious and disciplined warrior. Unlike Goku, who often acted carefree, Vegeta always thought carefully before making a move. Because of this, Whis believed Vegeta was actually more fit for the role of god of destruction. After hearing this compliment, Vegeta smirked at Goku, bragging that he was clearly the better choice. At this point, the Grand Priest announced that based on Whis' observations, a vote would now be held among all the angels and gods of destruction. The results of this vote would determine which mortal was most suitable for the position. However, he reminded everyone that the final decision would still come from Zeno himself. And so, the voting began. The result was overwhelming, 24-0 in favor of Vegeta. Every single angel and god of destruction agreed that Vegeta should take on the role. This made Vegeta proud as he turned to Goku, bragging once again that he was now officially the new god of destruction. The Grand Priest then formally informed the two Zenos that Vegeta was the best candidate, but surprisingly, Zeno did not agree. Instead, Zeno chose Goku as the next god of destruction. This shocking twist stunned everyone present. The Grand Priest clarified that he had nothing to do with Zeno's decision, since the role of god of destruction was entirely about destruction. But Goku then asked if it was possible to become a good god of destruction, someone who doesn't need to kill or destroy planets unnecessarily. Vegeta, frustrated with the results, spoke up and said that the whole thing was nonsense. He believed the only reason Zeno chose Goku was because they were friends. Hearing this, Beerus became extremely annoyed with Vegeta's attitude. Oh, that moment, Goku asked where he would even be assigned as a god of destruction. The Grand Priest explained that out of the 12 gods of destruction, only 4 were actually doing a good job: Arak, Jin, Liquier, and Iwan. The others had been neglecting their duties. This statement shocked all the gods of destruction who weren't mentioned. The Grand Priest then continued and revealed that, after long consideration, they had decided that Champa would be removed from his position as god of destruction. Champa and his Kaioshin assistant were immediately called to the center. The Grand Priest explained that Champa had neglected Universe 6 and even attempted to use the Super Dragon Balls for selfish reasons. Because of these violations, he would be stripped of his divinity. Champa sighed, saying he already knew this would eventually happen, but asked what the next step would be. The Grand Priest replied that once his divinity was removed, Champa would no longer be immortal. He would live as a normal mortal. He could then choose any planet in Universe 6 to live on. Champa requested Earth, but his Kaioshin would also share the same fate, losing immortality and living as a mortal. At that moment, Zeno personally removed Champa's divinity. The Grand Priest then ordered Vados to return Champa safely to Universe 6, which she agreed to. Before leaving, Vados told Champa that this would be their last time together, which only annoyed Champa. After this, Vados and the group quickly departed. With Champa gone, the Grand Priest declared that Goku would now officially become a god of destruction. However, the transformation process would take 3 Earth days. Since it would take time, all the gods and angels were dismissed back to their universes. Once they left, the two Zenos happily approached Goku, wanting to play with him. But Goku explained that since he had been chosen as a god of destruction, he had important responsibilities to handle first. The Zenos agreed, saying it was fine since Goku would become immortal anyway and would have plenty of time to play with them in the future. Goku then returned to Earth together with Whis. Back on Earth, the scene shifted to Bulma's place, where Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Trunks were already gathered. Goku was surprised to see Chi-Chi there. It turned out Chi-Chi was planning a homecoming party for Goku, but she didn't expect him to return so soon. Beerus also announced that he would be joining the party, shocking Bulma, who immediately asked if something bad had happened. Chi-Chi was also surprised, saying they weren't ready for Goku's sudden arrival. Goku then smiled and told Chi-Chi that he had been chosen as a god of destruction and would soon be assigned to another universe. Hearing this, Chi-Chi fainted from shock. But Bulma quickly organized an emergency party at Capsule Corporation, where the Z-Warriors gathered to celebrate. During the party, Goku admitted to Chi-Chi that he never truly wanted to be a god of destruction. It was supposed to be Vegeta's role, but Zeno had chosen him instead. Bulma then asked why he didn't refuse the position if he didn't want it. Goku answered that if he refused, he would never know what was happening outside their universe. Chi-Chi surprisingly accepted Goku's new role, saying that at least he finally had a real job and that this was more fitting for him than just staying on Earth. Gohan then added that he was glad his mother accepted the decision, but he personally doubted if his father could handle such a difficult role. Beerus agreed with Gohan, saying Goku wasn't fit to be a god of destruction and that Vegeta was the better choice. But since Zeno made the final decision, none of them had a say in it. Trunks then jokingly asked if this meant Vegeta lost to Goku again. This irritated Vegeta, who scolded his son and warned him to stay quiet unless he wanted to be grounded. As the conversation continued, Bulma reminded Goku that, as a god of destruction, his duties would involve destroying planets and even killing mortals. Goku responded that he was aware of this since the Grand Priest had already told him, but he wanted to avoid those responsibilities as much as possible. Gohan then asked if Goku would now have a Supreme Kai partner, since every god of destruction is linked to one. Goku admitted he didn't know, but explained that when Champa lost his divinity, his Kaioshin also became mortal. This meant he might not get a partner at all. One of the Kais present then explained that a god of destruction and a Supreme Kai are always connected by life force. Since Champa lost his power, his Kaioshin suffered the same fate. That's why, by tomorrow, after a ritual, Goku would be given his own Supreme Kai. Goku asked how a new Kai would be chosen. The Kaioshin explained that in this case they would use the Kaiju Tree of Universe 6, which bore rare golden fruits that could give birth to new Supreme Kais. Vegeta reacted in disbelief, repeating, "Kaiju Tree?" The Kaioshin elaborated further, saying that most Kais were born from common fruits, but only the rare golden fruit could produce a Supreme Kai. That was where he himself had come from. Trunks was shocked and asked if this meant Kais were literally born from fruit. Goten then innocently asked his mother if that meant he was also born from fruit. Whis joked that it was possible, but Chi-Chi quickly shouted at him not to explain such things to the children. Everyone laughed, while Goku asked what would happen if a fruit turned rotten. The Kaioshin explained that such beings would end up in the demon realm, like Dabura. This revelation shocked Goku and the others. Soon, Beerus stood up and announced that the party was over, and it was time to leave. Chi-Chi, worried, asked if Goku would still be able to visit Earth once he became a god of destruction. Whis explained that normally Goku wouldn't be allowed, but because of his unique case, it would depend on Lord Beerus. Beerus coldly replied that he didn't care. Goten then asked if he could go with his father to train. Whis said it wasn't possible since Goku would be stationed in another universe. Goku then promised Goten that if he trained hard and reached his true potential, he would personally train him once he returned. Before leaving, Goku's family and friends bid him farewell, knowing this would be his long absence from Earth. Vegeta then stepped forward and reminded Goku that even though he was now a god of destruction, their rivalry was far from over. Goku simply smiled at him, and then he, Whis, and the others departed quickly from Earth.